Hi, I'm Jeremy.
What?
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of The Extraordinary Times. And our first story of today is a throwback. Actually, the first few are throwbacks to, first one, BearLove good, cancer bad. The operation begun by the Oatmeal's Matt Inman to combat stupidity and cancer and, love bears. He raised $220,024 on the site Indiegogo for his cause, which after Indiegogo gets their 4%, he has $211,000 or so to give to charity, which, in case you do not remember, he is going to withdraw all of it in cash and then take a picture of it and send it to the lawyer that tried to sue him for telling Funny Junk to stop hosting his stuff on their site.
Next throwback, real quick. The zombie we talked about a while back, the zombie attack over in Florida.
The big new zombie attack in Florida.
Turns out was not caused by bath salts. They've done the toxology report, and, they've only been able to find marijuana. And marijuana doesn't do this to people, so...
By the way, in case you don't know, marijuana does not do this to people.
Everybody's really confused.
Speaking of Florida, a federal judge has finally ruled in their favor to let them continue their voter purge, a non-U.S. citizen voter purge. So, justice and equality go.
I love the quote from Governor Rick Scott. It says, irreparable harm will result if non-citizens are allowed to vote.
And on to science.
Science. Down in Argentina, actually.
More crazy science in South America.
Right.
They're finding crazy stuff.
A new dinosaur has been discovered. Let's see, they're calling it translated as Argentine Bicentenary. It kind of looks like a bigger form of a raptor from what I'm looking at, except, probably covered in feathers. About 9.8 feet long. Holy crap. Agile in this land, that kind of stuff, so big super raptor. The main thing here, though, is, like I said, probably covered in feathers, and another connection between dinosaurs and birds.
And on to some local news for us Houstonians. There was a man in northwest Houston who decided to open fire on people in an apartment parking lot. After he did so, and being chased by police and shooting at police, he carjacked somebody, took their car, and started driving down 290. That's a road that goes into, if I orient this right, the northwest of Houston. And he... caused several accidents in running from the police, and then eventually, while exchanging gunfire with the police, his car just kind of drifted to the side and stopped, and they found out he died. Whether he died from a self-inflicted wound or from a police officer shooting him is in question right now, but the important thing is one of my friend's husbands was involved in that whole debacle. So my heart goes out to the Gonzalezes, and love you guys.
At least no one died besides the shooter. So over to Peterborough, New Hampshire, where a 65-year-old lady has lost her job from a Big Apple convenience store because, she kind of refused service. Like, okay, this is understandable, except the way it happened is what gets me.
By the way, any store owner has the right to refuse, or store person has the right to refuse service to anyone for any reason in the great, America that we live in. But moving on.
So the reason why she refused this customer is because he was trying to buy a couple packs of cigarettes with a welfare card, which if you don't know what the welfare card is, it's basically food stamps modern day.
Or cash assistance.
Yeah. She literally saw this and went, what are you doing? And asked him, do you think to yourself that lady and that gentleman should pay for my cigarettes?
Your cigarettes.
For your cigarettes. He responded, yes. And she's just like, yeah, no, sorry, I'm not going to do this for you. And then his foster mother comes in and complains, which eventually leads to her being released. Actually, she kind of quit on her own because they, the main office called her and said they were going to be investigating this, and she's like, I'm a 65-year-old lady. Bye.
Peace.
For me, I'm going to go on a quick rant here, just real fast. This is what the welfare system is doing. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. It doesn't help anybody. It's not improving anybody's lives. It is making poverty slightly more comfortable. And therefore, people want to stay that way because it's easy. It's simple. You know, they don't have to do anything.
It's entitlement thinking. Entitlement societies only go downhill.
Exactly. It's not going to get better anytime soon. Fix it.
And on to North Carolina, where a man by the name of Freddie Lempe, I say man, he's 18 years old, but moving on. He has been in a coma since a car accident in March of 2011. His father is currently his guardian, and apparently the Wake Med Hospital in Raleigh is trying to take that guardianship away from him. Now, normally you would say, why is a corporate entity like a hospital trying to remove the rights of a father from a father? You know, why would they do such things? Well, apparently the father has not filed for Medicaid,
Yeah.
Medicaid assistance to help pay for Freddie's care, and thusly the hospital is kind of working for free because it's a person in need and they're not going to just deny him care because they're a hospital. Yay. Hospital saved my hand. I didn't exactly have a way to pay for it at the time. So, you know, yay for that. But they don't want to keep racking up bills on Freddie's behalf, so they are wanting the father to file Medicaid. And apparently the father is either, just absentmindedly not doing it or purposely not doing it. Either way, it's bad for Freddie. So the hospital wants to, take away his guardianship and give it to somebody else because they technically can't do it because of the conflict of interest. But they want what's best for him. So normally, I would side on the rights of a father to have guardianship over his son. But in this particular case, I'm going to say, do what's right, and they're going to drop the case and, file for Medicaid and get what you need, or somebody will do it for you.
And, Ron Paul news, because every so often he actually does something good.
In this particular case, I agree with him very heavily.
He is pushing forward his bill that would audit the Federal Reserve System, like, in general. Which, something, I'm not going to go too much into it because, details, political details, whatever, just needs to happen. The Federal Reserve is very corrupt at this point, needs to be audited. They need to at least show that all this corruption is going on and needs to be fixed.
The primary reason on my part is that the Federal Reserve is actually a private entity. It is not a government entity. It is a private bank, essentially, that is run by governors of 12 regional banks, and they lend to the federal government. And their money it goes all sorts of places, and they don't ever really keep track of all of it. Even all those little serial numbers you see on your money and everything, that's not ever really truly kept track of after it leaves a bank for the first time. So, that's scary. It's a big, scary entity that nobody really wants to look at, because if you actually look at it, then you see all the failure and fallacy and falseness, alliteration's cool, that is in that system, then people are afraid it's going to crash. So anyways, we didn't want to leave you with, too much hard news today. So check out the link right around this area, magical area. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jeremy.
I'm AJ.
These are extraordinary times. If you really enjoyed this, like, favorite, subscribe if you want us to keep going or get better. Share us with your friends, and we will see you tomorrow. Be aware. restart this whole stupid thing.